I've always found a lot of interest in what makes people be together, stay together, and break up. Why did you break up? Why you didn't work it out? Why you didn't try to fix it? What's going on, everybody? It's your boy B the Gemini. This is the 3Sides 2Every Story podcast, B-Board Entertainment TV. This show is sponsored and produced by Unique Creation Studios. Man, we have a burner for y'all today. I want to thank my guests for driving down to see me today, coming down to sit down with me. Father, husband, family man, filmmaker, writer, director. He does a lot. Man, look, let me tell you something. Let's keep it hype for my boy, Mr. Terron Rogers.
Yeah, what's good?
What's
bro?
up, baby?
You?
Woo!
Happy
Well,
to be
I'm telling you,
here.
yeah, we got this thing going. Kind of worked out some dates and kind of getting you in here, and I am so excited to have you. For those that don't know, me and this dude we have a lot of history, and want to just before we just lighten the mood up a little bit, can you just talk about how we knew each other and some stuff, let everybody know what's going on.
Yeah, yo, it's wild because we go back to really before we knew each other. Like our families dealt with each other with Griffin's Beach. You know what I'm saying? So
Washington, North Carolina.
You know what I mean? So like I know my uncles and stuff worked with your grandmother and then with the beach back in the 80s. Yeah. So, we hooped against each other in high school and graduated. We both went to Pitt.
Yep.
And that's where you and I really, so 93, from 93 until now, that's really how far our relationship go back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we used to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? ECU, up at the hill, chaos and turmoil.
That's what it is.
On the court.
Basketball, we used to ball up some. We used to go out there and, do our thing. It was crazy because we used to love to play against the ECU dudes. Them guys thought they could ball, and we used to, oh, man. Then we had a couple other guys that we used to play with. Yeah. Maurice and all them cats, them boys. And, it was crazy, Toby, and it was just so many of them guys, man. We used to have a good time. We used to go out there and tear them boys' ass up. So it used to be a lot of fun.
And a lot of people don't believe me when I say, like, on a Saturday, we would get to the court at, like, 9 in the morning, and we wouldn't leave until 9, 10 o'clock that night.
All day, all night.
All day
crazy.
On the court. So.
Crazy. Well, look, I wanted to, tell everybody a little funny story, and, about me and you. And it's crazy because, every time I see you, that's the first story that comes to my mind.
Right.
So one night, you remember that night we was together. Me and my brother was together first, and I called you. We went to pick you up. So we went riding around, and now this is back in '93. So it's crazy because back then police was different then. We didn't hear a lot of the stuff that you hear right now. Social media, all that stuff kind of changed the game. But I remember us riding around, and we rode through ECU, and we got stopped.
Right.
So when the cop stopped us, we talking shit. Like, what he stop us for? It's crazy. We pulling up. But so he got to the car. Yes, sir. Oh, what can I do for you? So it was crazy that when he was like, yo, you know why I stopped? We're like, nah. What's going on? He said, you ain't got no plates on you.
Got no plate.
I said, ain't no way. I tried to get out the car. He was like, don't get out the car. You sit right in the car. So, it's like, man, he ain't nowhere in the world. This dude, we got plates on his car. And you remember he was telling us, like, you don't have no plates, so, you do your, the license registration.
Right.
Checked it out. Everything was cool. He let us go. We went down the street.
Mark.
Yeah, he was talking junk. Oh, man, that's what I'm talking about. You're hard-headed. You don't listen to nobody. My daddy told you to put them lock bolts on your stuff. You if you had to lock bolts, you had to worry about your stuff. Everything would have been all right. You might have listened to that foolishness. I took you home, and I don't even think he got out of the car. I think he stayed in the back seat. So when we were heading back to my house, and as soon as we was going, he was still talking. I was so mad at him. I wanted to put his ass out. He was talking me to death. Man, you just hard headed, bro. When I pulled up to my driveway,
man, his tags were gone.
I almost peed all over myself.
Yeah,
his damn plates were gone. I almost peed all over my damn self. That mud had the dumbest face in the world, sitting there looking real dumb. And they had stole everybody's plates in the neighborhood.
I remember.
Everybody's shit was gone. So it was crazy, man, because we had a lot of stories, man, a lot of stuff that we used to get into back then. And it was crazy, man, because I always remember you being the shy dude. Yeah. And to find out one day you were like, man, I think I'm gonna do some comedy.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, well, I was the one.
Yeah, you
I
were
was the funny when you were laughing
all the time.
So I want to get right into that. How long you been doing comedy? You know, I want to hear that comedy journey.
Yeah, so it was crazy, man. I was doing HVAC work.
Mm-hmm.
So all day I'm riding around, got tired of listening to the music on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
So I just started pulling up stand-ups. So all day while I'm riding around, I'm just listening to stand-up comedy. And because I just love when people laughing, man. Because you know when people are laughing in that moment, everything is good. Mm-hmm. So for about 2 years, I'm just listening to it. And then I just like, yo, can I do it? So at Good Nights, they had open mics. It took me a month to get on. I tried for a month just to get my name so I can get on stage. You get 3 minutes. So after a month, they finally pulled my name. Scariest thing in the world.
I bet.
But that night, my first night, the way that it was cool for me, I went up about 6 or 7. The probably like 4 or 5 of the comics that went up before me, you know, no disrespect, but they didn't do well. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, cool. If I do bad, I'm not the only one. You know what I mean? So, but I went up and I had a good set.
Good.
So I was bitten that night. So it started just loving hearing people laugh. You know what I'm saying? So after that open mic, I got back on, got on at another open mic. You know, so it was wild, man, because my third show, I did 2 open mics, and then my third show, I was booked.
Wow.
But it was at a spot called TJ's.
Yep.
TJ's had a comedy shows on Friday before the club.
I didn't know that.
And it wasn't my greatest set. So it's just that level of understanding, like, know who your crowd is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But so I got up at TJ's. I think I had 10 minutes to do. And it was a cool set, but I knew I'm still young. This is my third show, and I'm booked to perform. You know what I mean? And that just opened my eyes to just understanding how I need to prepare.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, find a venue, who's gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? Catering my material to my audience.
Right.
And I didn't do that on that first show.
Right.
You know, so after that, I just, started writing a lot. Like right now I got like 44 pages.
Wow.
And I got all of my comedy broken down into categories. I got my intros, I got drug stuff, sex stuff, TV stuff, relationship, food, driving. Like I got all of my categories broken down. So I started when I build my set, I would just take like 1 or 2 things from each part and try to set it up in a way where my transitions just kind of flow. So I just hit my 6th year. Right, 6th year. November 18th is my anniversary date for getting on stage. So I just hit my 6th year.
That's big. That's huge. And before doing comedy, you was doing films.
Yeah.
So where did this inspiration to be doing any of this stuff come from? Just to be, to step outside the box and say, yeah, I'm gonna do this.
Just growing up, I always did like this extra stuff. You know what I'm saying? Outside of like what my family was doing, I always, I don't want to say thought different, but it was just other stuff that I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? I always felt myself being a creative. Like I used to draw a lot. Right. You know what I'm saying? We used to draw together. Oh, yeah. Once we, got around each other. So it was always that creative part that I felt was in me. With starting to do films, movies started to become so predictable. Right. And I wrote my first movie in 2001. I was living in Omaha, Nebraska. I was working at Old Navy. Oh wow! I had an idea for a story, so I wrote just the thought of it down on a brown paper towel. One of my coworkers was over my shoulder, kind of reading it, and she was like, "Oh, you're gonna finish that? That's good." So after that, I kept writing. So like right now, I have over 200 original concepts for film, television, stage, and the whole 9. So it started out with film. Like I said, this was back in the early 2001. Shot my first movie in 2008. It was a motorcycle story. Then we shot another film during COVID. That was the Comedy Hard Times that we shot. Yeah. And we shot that. It came from a story that I had written but I lost the script, and I didn't want to rewrite it again. So I'm thankful for everybody that was a part of the project, because I went to them, yo, would you want to be in my movie? They was like, yeah, can I get the script? Well, I don't have a script. But so they were like, I bet, okay, you know what I mean? So, but the way that I did it, no one knew who was, they didn't know the other characters, or other actors, and they only knew their scene. So they didn't see the whole film come together until I chopped it up and put it together.
Oh, that's dope.
So they only knew what they did. Right. So it came out, man. Everybody was happy with it. A little over 2,000 original views on it. You know
that's
what I'm
good.
saying?
That's real good.
But it was fun, man. Like just creating and just entertaining people.
So, well, with that being said, so what, I guess if that seemed like it was being successful, and doing the comedy, so the comedy took off quicker, or you had a high, a bigger high for that, or
and it's easier.
It's easier.
You know what I'm saying? And then what I feel also, if I could get my name out there with comedy, it'll make it easier for the film.
That transition.
You know what I'm saying? Because people know who I am, and like right now, man, I've been blessed to, like, I work at the Raleigh Improv. I get work at Good Nights. You know what I'm saying? So those are the two biggest comedy clubs in the Raleigh area. So like if that continues to do what it do, it'll be easier to transition, you know what I'm saying, into other stuff.
Using one for the other.
Right. And like I said, because it's just me going on stage. It's not me having to put together a cast and days of filming. So I just feel like the comedy could just catapult and make it easier to move in the other areas.
So I guess going from there, when did you start to take yourself serious as a comedian? Like, when did you realize, yo, I'm a comedian?
Honestly, like, I never cheated it. So even at the open mic, the night at the open mic like, I knew it was what I wanted to do, and I really want to be the best at it. So the night that I got on stage, because every time you get on stage, it counts.
Oh yeah.
And so for myself, man, I've taken it serious since day one, and that this is what I want to do. Right.
So and I guess with me doing poetry, I definitely understand that, because that's something I took very seriously.
Right.
When I got into that, you were the first call I made. You told you what I wanted to do. You gave me some words and sent me the direction to get that thing going.
Right.
So you was a part of my journey when it comes to that, and it was crazy because, I was passionate. I didn't cheat it either.
Right.
Because I never, and it showed through my work ethic. It showed through the performances.
Absolutely.
Getting on that stage and never doing that stuff before, and people coming up to you saying it looks natural, like you've been doing it for years. Man, that was big for me.
Absolutely. But that was something that I always told you, like, that you need to be in front of people. Yeah. Because again, from early, you always had that outgoing personality that made people feel good. You know what I'm saying? So when you told me that you wanted to take that step in, I thought it was the best thing. Something that you really should have been doing already. Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, and that's crazy, man. But I talked about it before. Sometimes when even though you want something, or you feel like you're destined to be good at something, you still ain't gonna do it until you're ready. Like I said, it don't matter. I can't be ready for you. You gotta be ready for yourself. Because like I said, I always say, man, you ain't gonna put the same in it if you're not doing it for you, or not ready for it when you're ready for it.
That's true.
So where do you get your material? How do you come up with your material?
Life, man. Somebody could say something, or I'm thinking all the time. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be the smallest thing. And it's crazy, like, my memory is so off right now. Like, I forget stuff all the time. So as soon as I get a thought, I text it to myself. Even when I'm on stage, I take a water bottle on stage and I write my set out. Right. My set is on a water bottle on stage. I just put the bullet points for my jokes, on stage. So it's funny.
It's crazy you do that, because I actually I knew that you did that.
Yeah.
And I actually gave somebody some advice based on what you did. And I told them, I was like, they were saying that they have a hard time remembering everything up there. And I told them, I was like, well, my boy, he put his on the back. On the bottle. Yeah. He like taking a drink, put it down,
and I look at the next.
See his notes.
Like if I kind of get lost, and now like my set, and even it's just understanding how to work a set. Right. You know what I mean? Because when I started doing open mics, like every night, it was just something different. Instead of learning or knowing that you gotta hone, you gotta work on that joke, you gotta tweak it, so you keep doing it. but I was doing like different stuff, and so it wasn't until it's just the understanding, man. I'm a student. I'm still a student of it. You know what I mean? And I get to talk to people that's been doing it for years. You know what I mean? So luckily, I've had some people that's willing to give the advice. You know what I mean?
That's big right by itself. Because I mean, I'm pretty sure that being a comedian is very competitive.
Yo, it's honestly, bro. It's people think I be just making it up, but comedy is almost more cutthroat than hip hop.
Wow.
And the levels of, I don't want to say jealousy, people don't want to, like, there just certain shows, you know what I'm saying? Like when I did shows, because I used to host, I did a show at the Rialto Theater in Raleigh. I wanted the best comics.
Right.
You have some people that they don't want somebody that they feel is funnier than them on their shows.
Man, that's crazy.
And it's like you're not giving your audience your best show. So that happens a lot, man. A lot of people just don't rock with each other. Joke stealing, I've seen some of that as well. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, and like I said, I mean, you can see it on a higher level. You know what I mean? My homeboy thought every comedian rock with each other, but they don't. Like, there's cliques, and it's like that on the level that I'm on.
Right.
You know, so.
Yeah, that's crazy because that was one of my questions I was going to ask you. Like, even because Cat Williams kind of killed the internet. You know, when he exposed comedy. Because I'll be honest with you, I never would have thought in a million years that comedians beef, and I thought all of them cats got along.
Nah.
And to even hear, and that's why I say, they're great actors because they act like they like each other. So just to see that happens there, I guess that's why you answered that for me, because I was wondering, like, even on your level,
right,
how bad is it? Like, how bad is it?
Like with us, it's more or less a situation to where like guys will have a show and they will just never book you. You know what I'm saying? They'll never just put you on. Some because they, you know what I'm saying, like and I for myself, man, I come in, I'm humble. I don't try to outshine. I just go in, I do myself. So for the most part, I have a decent relationship with most of the people in the comedy scene in Raleigh. But it's just like they just won't book a certain comic. You know what I'm saying? When that comic would have been a great fit for that show.
Right.
But the person booking, to me, it's like their mentality is now they way funnier than I am, so I'm not gonna put them on because they're gonna take my shine. But again, for me, man, it was always I want the best.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I know I'm still, like I said, it's 6 years in, but it's not like I'm working every day. You know what I'm saying? I started in 2018.
Right.
In November, but it's not, again, you're not on stage every single night.
Right.
But that's just when it started. So I know I'm still growing.
Right.
With it, but you got some comics, man. It's some beasts in Raleigh.
I bet.
And it's just like, yo, why aren't they on certain shows that got the guys we booking and stuff? You know what I'm saying? So it just comes off to they know they're funny and they know they're funnier than them.
So is the improv, is it a chain or is it just one improv?
The improv is just like 11 of them across the country.
Okay, because I know when I see a lot of specials and stuff, I see guys with the improv. First thing I think, well, it was in Raleigh. When I see the improv. So, okay, it's more than one.
I want to say the first one started in L.A.
Okay.
So there's D.C. It's like 11 of them.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's pretty big, though, to even be able to get on that stage. And I've been to, a few of your shows.
Yeah.
And I've heard, and you're right, I've heard some funny people, like really funny. And it's crazy because even when I hear a lot of them funny people, like, man, these mothers, like, I ain't see these on TV. Like, they funny.
Yeah.
Even your stuff, man, I watch you grow in comedy.
Yeah.
I saw when you went on stage, and I could see the nervousness in you.
Oh, yeah.
I saw it, and then I was like, people ask me, like, how'd he do? I said, he's going to get it. I said, he's a little nervous right now, but you can see it. But eventually you figured it out.
Yeah.
And now when I go to the show, I enjoy it. Sometimes I get lost in it.
Right.
Because I'm like, damn, dude, funny.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and it's like, and I always think, and every time I see you, I was like, man, I used to be the one making everybody laugh. He used to be the one laughing. So it's crazy that now I'm laughing and you making me laugh. It's crazy, man. But yo, you really have come a long way.
I appreciate that.
And I seen the growth. So and I supported a lot of your shows. I went to a lot of them.
Yeah.
driving, Raleigh, even had to fight against Bambi going up there.
I
You know how I feel
remember.
about 264.
Absolutely.
I'm terrified of 264, but I was like, I gotta go support my boy.
And I appreciate that.
How supportive is your family, like, for what you're doing?
I mean, they're cool. They're cool with it, but I understand like the travel because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing anything where my family is.
Yeah.
So, but they ask how it's going,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't, and like my family, as far as like understanding entertainment and stuff, like it's not their thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, they ask me about shows and things like that, but so the support is there, but I also understand too, like they're not gonna be taking the ride.
Right.
And like I'm in Virginia also, you know what I'm saying? So I do a lot of shows in Virginia as of right now too. So I definitely know they're not going to take that trip.
How's the Comedy Lane in Virginia versus Raleigh?
It's actually, it's not as big because they don't, where I'm at, I'm in Roanoke. So there's no real comedy club up there. But there's a scene. There's a good comedy scene. And even up there, like one of the guys that I rock with, his name is L.A. Preston.
Right.
I went to his open mic and up in Virginia, and since I did his open mic, he actually hit me today about January 18th.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then March 12th, I think we're going to Tennessee.
Oh, that's dope.
We were in Indiana last year.
That's dope.
So LA's been good, and even with him, there's another group, I can't remember those guys, but he's beefing with those guys. You know what I'm saying? It's like the venue that he has for his open mics, there's been people online posting like, that's the wackest spot. But it's just like, it's really a dope spot. But
And his name is, what you said his name was?
L.A. Preston.
Shout out to L.A. Preston.
L.A. Josh Preston.
Yeah, shout out to him.
Yeah.
I want to give him, his flowers and stuff. So with that being said, we want to transition a little bit, talk about a little bit of family and stuff. Your son. So you are a father, and how old is he now?
Jaden's 19.
19 years old.
Crazy.
And so how many times you been married? I want to give some context.
I'm on my third now.
Third marriage. Okay, we'll get into that in a minute, but I want to talk about your son
Yeah.
first. So with your son, and
He's in Omaha.
Omaha, okay. So because he lived there, did you live there too during?
I did. I was in Omaha. I've spent a total of 3 years in Omaha.
Okay.
Well, he was born in North Carolina, but like I said, just didn't work out with his mom. So when Jaden was about 9 months, they ended up moving back to Omaha.
Okay.
I went out there. After they left a couple months later, then I went back out to Omaha. But the relationship was dead.
Right.
So when I went back out there, it wasn't to rekindle the relationship. It was just me being around my
closer to
son.
your son.
Right.
Right.
And it was a nightmare.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's wild, man. I could definitely speak on like a father that want to be in their son's life, like how just I don't know if bitter is the word, but just an unreasonable woman in the system.
Yeah.
We went through it, man. Like when I was put on child support, and granted, this is in like the early 2000s. So even back then, like when I was with her, I had a job at the time, and this now was definitely not a lot, but I was making like $12 an hour.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was like the highest paying job that I had when I was with his mom. So when they went through child support, the job that I had in Nebraska, I was only making like $9. But they said you could potentially make 12. You done it before, so they set my child support up on a job that I didn't even have. You know what I'm saying? And then with that, when I moved out there, not even knowing, I moved into an apartment that was across the street from her complex, and I'm trying to make it work. And so I'm like, look, because she was already in another relationship. So I'm like, yo, if you and Jamal want to go out, just bring Jaden to the crib.
Right.
Because I wanted my son. But she was like, nah, I'll take him to my sister's.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just, it was always a battle. When she remarried, I knew, because she was the type that wanted to paint a picture of perfection. So when she got married, I called the courthouse 3 times because I knew it was happening. I knew it was going to happen to find out if there was anything in motion to change his name.
Wow.
And I just knew it was going to happen. The courthouse is telling me, nah, since your name's on the birth certificate, you're the biological father, you have to be notified.
Right.
It didn't sit well.
Right.
So again, I called him 3 times. Yo, my sister texted me, and she was like, "Look, I want to talk to you before I call Jody." I'm like, "What's good?" She said, "Did you know she changed Jaden's name?"
Wow.
And I'm like, "Nah." So I went on Facebook, seeing where her family is, all this, all this happiness, and the way she did it, she put it in the newspaper. Now I'm back in North Carolina at the time. She put it in the newspaper to change his name, and because I couldn't contest it, it went through.
So you couldn't contest it because you didn't know?
I didn't know.
Yeah, so, and that's amazing because, like, of course, I'm in that field, and I hear a lot of, I see, I ain't gonna say I hear anything because I see it.
Yeah, right.
Me being a, child support caseworker, I see a lot of stuff and hear a lot of stuff. And it is tough, man. I'll be real honest with you. It is tough when you have fathers really trying to be there. And, mom, for whatever reason, it makes it difficult.
Right.
And there's always a flip side of that too. You have moms that really try to make the father be a part.
Yeah.
And the dad doesn't want it.
And I don't understand that.
And I hate that. And I hate that because it's like the fathers that trying to be there, it's like they get that short end of the stick.
Absolutely.
And when mom's really trying their best to make her dad that, she get the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
So, I really can't take sides with that because I see both.
Yeah.
And
each situation is different.
Yeah. And I'll say I know that was tough for you because I know how much you love your son.
Oh yeah.
But let me ask you this: so even through that stuff was going on, how was your relationship with him? Could he feel what was going on? Did he know that even though my dad is not here, that he's trying, that he want to be in my life?
Yeah, because again, what I would do when I was here, I would still go out there once a year.
Yeah.
And again, I wasn't making a lot of money.
Right.
So I would have to stack, and I would just kind of plan it to go out, take that trip around his birthday. So, each year, I'm going. And he started to see it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He started to see it, and he really knows it now.
Yeah.
And like, Jaden is the type where, like, one day we was talking, and he was like, "Dad, I love you."
Wow.
And I'm like this, like, why? Why you love me? And it wasn't to be a jerk to him, but I told him, I just don't want you saying stuff without
knowing why.
So he, as soon as it was like, "Yo, why you love me?" And he said, "Yo, because you always check on me. You calling me all the time. You come see me. If I call you, you answer. I know you there." You know what I'm saying? So
that's big.
So with that, like, I knew what she was trying to do and she couldn't do it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? She couldn't break that relationship that I have with him.
Couldn't take him.
And like right now, me and him, it's just
tight.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah. So with do you and her have any type of relationship?
Nah. I don't, man. Luckily right now, you know what I'm saying, like the last time we talked, it was like the last child support payment went through. So I told her, "Yo, I got the letter that is done." So she was like, "Okay, that's fine, but you can still, if you need to reach out about Jaden, feel free." I'm like, "I don't need to talk to you."
Right. So
I hear him directly. You know what I'm saying? So I have no communication with her whatsoever, and it's sad that anybody, not just my situation, but anybody that spend this time together, you create a life together. That the situation gets so volatile that you can't even talk to each other.
Want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's tough, man, because like I said, and it's funny that you say that because I know when I deal with my clients and they come in and it's just so much tension. And I try to get them to understand that, at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you how you need to be or how you need to be.
Right.
But, and it's not even for that setting to even counsel because I'm not a counselor, so I can't even be counseling you in that setting.
Right.
But it's just frustrating and it's heartbreaking to see people at one time we loved each other.
Right.
To hate each other the way they do. Oh man, it's crazy.
And that's what it is.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, it's like how can a person be, have so much vitriol in their heart that you make a person hate you.
Yeah.
And that's crazy, man. It's scary. It's actually scary.
Yeah.
So, and I luckily, knock on wood, man, me and my ex-wife, we even though we kind of wasn't on the best terms, we still found a way to navigate to be cordial with each other. Now she don't never answer phone. No, but I don't take it personal. She don't never answer phone. Right. But it ain't just me. She don't answer phone for nobody. But you know, I mean, you know, we're cool,
Right.
and I'm good with that. Like my heart would not allow me to at least not be cool.
Got you. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know, that's big for me, doing that, and that's great that you know, doing it and found a way to still be a father to your son.
Yeah.
Despite that.
You know, I wasn't gonna let her. I wasn't gonna let her dictate how I was gonna move with him.
With him.
You know what I'm saying? And especially once he got his own phone.
Mm-hmm.
But even with that, when she remarried, her husband, his name Jamal, and we call each other brothers now. You know what I'm saying? And
So y'all cool.
We've been like that forever.
Right.
And they're no longer together.
Wow.
So I would call to talk to Jaden, and she wouldn't answer. So what Jamal would do, he'd be like, "Yo, Jaden, let's go to the store," and Jamal would call me so I could talk to Jaden.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying? And he was just like, "Yo, just don't let her know I'm doing this." I'm like, "Nah." You know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
So again with Jamal, man, like I said, to this day, me and him are tight.
That's dope. Because you don't find that. You don't find with the baby daddy and the husband, you know, used to be, you know, cool like that. So,
absolutely.
But I credit him.
Yeah.
Because he saw you wasn't trying to do anything. He saw that you generally wanted to make sure that you kept that relationship with your son.
Absolutely.
And your son seen it too.
Yeah.
So you know, and that's brotherhood, man. I like that. That's pretty dope.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you know, that's crazy. Just thinking about that. So you said you've been married 3 times.
Yeah, I'm on my third and final one now.
Third and final one. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I want to kind of touch that a little bit.
Yeah.
So how do you? Let me see the best way I can answer this question. So I've been married once, and you know the first thing that a lot of guys say, if I ever get out of this, I ain't never going back. Mm-hmm. And I remember saying it early, myself.
Uh-huh.
And then I remember one day saying, you know, somebody asked me, "Would you get married again?" I said, "Yes, for sure." They asked me why, because I said companionship is the dopest thing on earth.
It is.
And I think as I get older, I realize how much companionship, how dope it is. Mm-hmm. But being married multiple times, how do you? I mean, what motivates you to say, "Okay, I'm gonna do it"?
I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah.
It's just the growth, man. And like I said, just to touch on the second one, like when I married Jaden's mother, I wasn't ready.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't even like each other.
Wow.
Really. You know what I'm saying? We called a wedding off several times
before.
Wow. We argued the day of.
Wow.
And so it was like 6 or 7 years passed before I got married again. So now I'm feeling like I'm better.
Right.
And I was. My second wife at the time had a lot of childhood stuff that she hadn't dealt with. And it started showing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I started becoming her scapegoat. You know what I mean? We talk about abusive relationships. I was end up turning to where it was very verbally. Because you know me. Like I said, this shy dude, I ain't trying to. But I dealt with, you know what I'm saying, just a lot of the arguing and her insecurities. I tried to do everything, and I knew she had them. You know what I'm saying? So I tried to maneuver in a way to where I want to make you comfortable.
Right.
The one to let you know I'm here.
Right.
But again, if a person you can't fix a person.
Especially if they broken, boy.
And that's what I dealt with that situation. And it was wild, man. So like when it ended, I just had enough.
Right.
I couldn't. I've done everything that I can. I moved to Connecticut because she wanted to move to Connecticut. She felt like she would be better up there. I moved to Connecticut. Only stayed 30 days because it just didn't work. And I'm like, I'm trying to do everything I can to show you that I'm here.
Right.
So she ended up moving back to North Carolina. So we got back together again. Still trying to make it work. I'm still trying to, feel like I had grown and let me do this. But it just didn't. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up, I know it was crazy, man. I thought we had a great day.
Right.
Went to breakfast, because she had 2 girls too. Went to breakfast, had a great conversation, great talk, went home. I think I took a nap. And I got up to go to my cousin Eric's house. So told her, look, I'm jumping on the bike, went to Eric's. When I got back home, she was gone. So I called her, she didn't answer. And then she texted me, I'll be home soon. When she got home, she was like, look, we need to talk. I'm like, all right. And she was like, yo, I ain't happy. And I know at this point, I'm exhausted myself trying to make sure you good. And that just, with that, I was done.
Right.
You know, so some people probably say it was a coward way to do it, but I knew how volatile the situation could get between her. I'm not gonna put myself in a situation to where any legal stuff comes up.
Right.
So that happened on Sunday. Tuesday, she went to work. I called my job. Like, look, I can't come in today. I called my homeboy. I said, look, man, I need you to come help me move my stuff.
And get out of there.
I got out of the crib. I went to, and this is what I did, man, because I didn't want anybody else. I didn't want to put myself on anybody else. I went and got a storage unit. It was conditioned, you know, it had air conditioning and power in it. And I moved in that.
Wow.
I moved into a storage unit for like 2 weeks.
Wow.
And it was only 2 weeks because they found out that I was living in it.
And they told you had to get out.
I had to get out. They called me the day of. They was like, look, Mr., you know, we understand because, you know, the code and the cameras and stuff.
Yeah.
They were like, look, you got at the end of the day to come and get yourself out. We putting a padlock on it. I couldn't be mad at them. I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? So I did that, and then I called my cousin Raven, who's just a savior.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So she was like, she mad at me because she was like, why didn't you just come here?
In the beginning.
Right.
But, you know, some things you want to try to fix.
Yeah. So after that, like, I was just done with that situation and never went back to it. So what led me to my situation now, like, man, I have the one now.
Yeah.
It's T. Oh, man.
Shout out to T.
Latanya. Yo.
Shout out.
Yo, when you find the person, people be like, yo, how you know she's the one?
Right.
I know she's the one because there's a little fright that hit me when I think about how my life could have went that I didn't meet her.
Wow. That's big, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
That's big.
So when I think about, like, the way that we got together, and it's crazy, man. We met on Facebook. And the story was like this, man. She reached out to me. I had her back. So while we chatted, she was like, okay, I'm going out with my friend's birthday party or whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool. Enjoy your night. But I would definitely love to chop it up with you. This was on a Wednesday. Thursday, she called me that morning. We talked for 6 hours. Wow. I was shooting a podcast. Jumped off when I got home from the podcast. We talked for another 3 hours.
Wow.
So she was like, yo, I'm gonna come see you. So Wednesday we chatted. Thursday we talked on the phone. Friday she came to see me. She lived in Kannapolis. She came to Zebulon. We never left each other.
Wow, that's big, bro.
You know what I'm saying? And it's, you got the person, man, that when you know they're genuinely uplifting you, when they got your back. And again, man, when I think about how if I didn't check my messages or if I didn't create that account,
you probably missed out.
And it scares me to think about that, knowing what I have with her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, she's just so dope.
You know, and it's crazy. Like, I see y'all on Facebook, man, and I'm somebody. I'm a big proponent of people being together.
Right.
I envy good relationships. I like when I see people together and they're doing good things together as a team. That's dope to me.
Yeah.
I had a situation, it didn't work out, and it you know, of course, it bothered me.
Yeah.
It should bother you. And the thing is, you know, sometimes when you can't do anything about something, or sometimes everything happens for a reason.
Right.
So I look at things like that, and I will say, you know, it didn't work out. I don't try not to dwell on a lot of things that don't work in my life no more. I try to just, you know, learn from them, move on, and try to make situations going forward better. You know, but I want to go back to what you were saying about insecurities.
Yeah.
Man, let me tell you, if a person hasn't dealt with things in their past,
It's hard.
it don't matter how good you are to them. You're never ever going to be what you can be. You're never going to get reach the full potential of a relationship if one of the parties or both of the parties still dealing with things from the past.
Absolutely.
And it's crazy. That's why I said earlier about, you know, people asking for things they're not ready for. You know, when people ask for things they're not ready for, and I don't look at things as a waste of time. You know, some people look at being with someone was a waste of time. I never look at it as a waste of time. I look at it as experience.
Right.
I'm learning something.
Can you take something from it?
There you go. Can I you know, adjust from this? Going forward, how can I make my life better? How can I be better for somebody else based on what me and you going through?
Right.
What we've been through and all that good stuff. But It's crazy, man. But I look at relationships now, so crazy because you have I still believe in love. I still believe it can exist. I still believe that it can be had. I love to see people that's been together for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I like to listen to them. I like to watch them. I like to see how they're reacting to each other. Friend of mine, him and his wife, he calls her honey. They always baby, and it's the dopest thing in the world. Shout out to D. Smith and Wendy, because they have something special.
Right.
I don't think it's fake. I think it's real. When I look at them, it gives you hope.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I'm looking for. You can generally see when you see a person willing to sacrifice everything
mm-hmm.
for you. And when I mean sacrifice everything, meaning when you win, we win.
Absolutely.
Bro, you hold on to that.
Yeah.
Because that got to go both ways, though. That feeling has to be a mutual thing.
And that's the 10.
Yeah.
Both got to be pulling.
Yep.
The same way.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I think I heard you mention it before.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? As far as like, both giving 100%.
Yes, sir. I
Not
believe
the
that.
50, but the 100.
I believe that.
And like I said, man, with T,
Mm-hmm.
it's like this, man. Like there's been, like I said, with Jaden, like his mom changed his name.
Wow.
Behind my back.
Right.
I've had, like I said, the situation with my biological father.
Mm-hmm.
When he passed,
Mm-hmm.
my cousin and her husband took everything.
Right.
The inheritance, they took all of that from me.
Right.
I didn't get anything.
And I know that hurt.
It was really, it hurt really just because of how disrespectful they were with it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But again, and I told T this, and one day, man, I was just feeling her so much. I'm like, yo, you know what? You're the correction to all of the bad things that I've been through.
Right.
Like man, I don't know. Like even like right now, I'm just feeling her so much right now. You know,
and it's T, be honest with you, man. I know you. We've been knowing each other forever, so I knew the person you was prior to that relationship.
Yeah.
I knew things. We, got talk. I knew, and I was always wondering. I was like, man, I don't think that dude will ever, settle down, get married, nobody again. I just, because I felt like during your life you was having so much fun doing what you're doing, and that's an outside person looking in. But when in fact, a lot of times, no, I'm not. I'm just filling gaps until that person comes, and that happens a lot too. People, they run out of situations and they just keep themselves busy until she come.
Right.
And I'm glad that she came for you, because when I knew early that she ain't going nowhere.
Nah.
Bro, it was just something about the conversation that you had about her when me and you talked, and how she made you feel. Yeah. Even the situation that you told me about that you went through, that you just being patient in it, and it worked itself out.
Yeah.
When I heard that right then, I was like, yeah, they gonna be together for a long time.
Yeah, man.
She's a beautiful thing, bro.
I definitely, what I'm saying? Like I said, she's the one. I found my one. You know what I mean? And it's just dope, man. Yeah. And like you're saying with your other people that's got the pet names for each other. Like every day is, we got this thing where we say I fly. Now cause it was a thing, like she was just like, on the phone, like she got a lot of friends. She was in the military, you know what I'm saying? So she said I love you to people. I said, you know what, I need something different. Right. So one day she was just like, I fucking love you. So I'm like, that's our thing. Yeah. So it's like I fly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I'm like, because you're not gonna give me
what you give somebody
else.
Oh yeah, I'm different.
So every day, man, like it's just an everyday thing. Yeah. And off camera we were talking about like difficulties in relationships. There doesn't have to be any. You know what I'm saying? So, things are gonna happen, but it's like you've poured into it so much, and that's another thing, man. Like I feel if you constantly pouring in, when something happens, you know what I'm saying, it dilutes itself. It do. If you're constantly pouring in, but if you're never pouring in, of course that negativity is gonna exacerbate. It's bigger than what it is. It is. But we're constantly, man, just reassuring each other who we are to each other. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And being intentional about it.
Absolutely.
And that's the biggest thing for me is being intentional, because for me, you have to be intentionally in love. You have to be intentionally by default doing things to make each other happy. intentional about all of that stuff, man. Because I think, and I say women for the longest time desire to be loved. Mm-hmm. But they desire to be loved by people who didn't really understand what it meant to love. Because men love and don't even know they're in love.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, and if you're not communicating, you don't know how to communicate, that's hard to navigate through that.
Right.
And it's not until women and men find a way to navigate together through that process of love that it actually starts to turn into what forms into a long-lasting something. Mm-hmm. And, and I believe in it. My mom and dad was together for a long time, and it seems like these relationships now, ones that are together for a long time, sometimes they break up when the kids get grown. Yeah. So it makes me feel like the only reason we were together, we was just hanging in there for the kids.
Right.
So when I see these relationships surpass that and go years and years past that, I want to see what did they do. Because honestly speaking, the same trend and method that happened with my mother and father happened to me. My kids were grown, we broke up.
Got you.
So it's like, who's to say that I just didn't, subconsciously, I just didn't do that but follow that same
thing.
Yeah. So, and then even now, my dad, he, Lord, passed, he died, passed his soul, Lord, bless his soul.
Yeah.
But he got remarried again. My mom got remarried again. So they did believe in actually trying and doing it again. So they believe that there was some love out there waiting for them. Yeah. So, and I just, you give me hope, bro. Just knowing what where y'all at and where y'all went through, it gives me hope. Yeah. It's something to believe in, and I love that.
Definitely.
So what do you do? You said she was in the military, and I'm pretty sure that she has dreams. She's a poet too.
Yeah, she's a poet, motivational speaker. Mm-hmm. She's just a speaker in general. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I know about 2 months ago she had to go out to Seattle to speak at a minority veterans.
Oh, I bet that was dope.
Situation. So she works for the government. Mm-hmm. She's in cybersecurity. Oh, you know what I'm saying? So she does that. She's just dope, like all the way around. Yeah, you know what I mean. And it's like I've, found that person to match my energy.
Right. So let me ask this. So I hear how much love you have for her. Mm-hmm. Does she reciprocate that in return?
Absolutely. And she told me to tell y'all. Make sure you tell them I love you so much.
Good grief, I do. That's what I'm talking about. That's good stuff.
And again, be like, I wouldn't even be up here, speaking on it the way that I am now if it wasn't what it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
and I know that to be true.
Yeah.
Because me and talking off camera, you had told me many times, bro, look, let's go as deep as we need to go.
Yeah.
And I want to be completely, authentic and open with this conversation.
Absolutely.
And and again, I don't want people to think that this platform here bashes women, No, this platform here is just to bring awareness to things that normal people sit around and just talk about all the time. Mm-hmm. Men can love, men will love, and even though we love different, that is not a bad thing if we both got the same common goal in mind.
And the 10 is you got to understand the person that you're loving.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
You got to and again, people talk with it sounds crazy, and so but love languages, you know what I'm saying? So I cater to her, she cater to mine. Mm-hmm. And like mine, physical touch. Hers is not. You know what I'm saying? But hers is on acts of service. So what I do, like I work from the crib.
Right.
When she get home from work, what I do, the house is clean.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm home.
Mm-hmm. Why not do it?
The house is clean. She drink wine, so I already have a glass of wine for her every day. I got her clothes out that she gonna chill in. That's already out.
Wow.
She likes the hookah, so I have a hookah ready. Everything that I know she's gonna come home and would have to do for herself,
go ahead and do it for her.
I already knocked that out. Right. So what that's doing, so now you're freeing up more time for me. You know what I'm saying? Now she's a cook. She loved to cook. Mm-hmm. And so she'll come in, get in the kitchen, do her thing. I don't cook. Right. But she loves sushi. So on the nights that I'm like, you know what, I just want you to come in and chill, I already have her sushi at the crib, waiting for her when she get there.
That's dope, though.
So it's just again understanding the person that you with,
right,
and loving them on that level,
right.
And it's not, it's easy,
right.
It's not hard,
right,
because it's right. You know what I'm saying? So.
But also too though, let me ask you this because I'm pretty sure, I know when you say it's easy, there has to be something that makes it easy. Is it because you guys communicate well?
It's that, and I know what I signed up for.
Boom.
You know what I mean? Like like I said, it happened so quick. But like I said, we chatted, talked, had that visit, and never left each other.
That's dope.
You know what I mean? So in the midst of all of that, like I know this is my one.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't ever want you to question what I feel for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm always gonna let you know. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're my one.
Yeah. And you're gonna protect that with everything you got.
Absolutely. And that keeps it easy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because again, like I'm not gonna do anything different than what we've been doing that's been working.
Right.
So it's just been easy, man.
Yeah, I like that, and that's big, man. Because again, talking relationships is something that's humongous for me. I've always found a lot of interest in what makes people be together, stay together, and break up. Why did you break up? Why you didn't work it out? Why you didn't try to fix it? I think the hardest thing in the world, man, when you get to a place and I heard people say that they grew apart. They just didn't love each other no more. And that's crazy because I feel like, relationships, it's rinse and repeat. What did we do in the beginning to get here? We have to figure out a way to keep going back to that place.
Absolutely.
And I know life happens. I know it's tough because, work and kids and when dynamics change us.
Right.
And I wanted to ask that question to you, and you kind of answered it already. I was going to ask you with, you being married 3 times. Do you think you was more excited the first time you got married, or this last time? And the reason I say that before you answer, I'm gonna tell you what I mean. Like, because I know for a lot of people, the thought of getting married the first time is exciting to them. I would think now I haven't been married but once, but I would think that the second go around, even though I'm doing it, I wouldn't say I was totally excited. I'm gonna say, you could be wrong, but I could be wrong. And the reason I say that, I wouldn't say I was totally excited. I would say I would be more relieved than I would be excited. Okay. And I'm saying relieved because this time I feel that this is the one. So I'm not excited about it. I'm just relieved. The first time I was excited, going through the whole ceremony and all that other stuff.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, and and I was nervous as hell.
Of course.
Like I said, you was there, you was in my way, so I was nervous. But I would think if I got married again, I don't know if I'd be excited. I'd just be more relieved.
I think if it's the 1B, you're gonna be excited.
You mean one? Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And even like with T and I, we didn't do the traditional way.
Mm-hmm.
I proposed to her September 3rd, and but like the day that we met was March 29th, so we used March 29th as our anniversary day. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, because she's been married before too. So we were just like, we're not, going through getting the license and all of that stuff. And then we are working on legal stuff to give each other authority over each other. You know what I'm saying? But now we're not doing that. We didn't do the traditional getting the license and having a wedding. But what we are gonna do is next year have a party.
Like, I mean, not a honeymoon, but like a reception type.
Reception that the families come together. But so the excitement came. It's exciting when it's the one. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And to know that this person, y'all on the same level, y'all agreeing on the same thing.
Yeah. That's big, and I'm excited for you. Like I told you, man, I was rooting for you because I knew that this was different for you. Like I knew it was like when you know a person, right? And I knew the conversations and stuff prior to her, and then when she came along, I was like, he feeling her.
Yeah, before meeting her, man, I was in the crib. I didn't go anywhere unless I had a show. Unless I had a show, I didn't leave the house because I work from home. So unless I had a show, that was really the only time I left. Or I was going to Burger King up the street.
Right up the street, yeah.
But I didn't do anything, and it was. Some people like, you were depressed. I'm like, I ain't depressed. I just don't want to do anything. You know what I'm saying? Right. But me and her, we've done. She's introduced me to so much stuff. I know how to use chopsticks now.
Wow.
She's so well traveled. just things that she's introducing me to now. So late in my life, like we just took the trip to Africa.
Word. Yeah. That's big. Yeah, that's huge.
And off of the strength of her, you know what I'm saying? We done that. It's man, like just the yin and the yang, you know what I mean? Like we balance each other out so much, and it's crazy, and I'm glad we met the way that we did, because I don't know if it could have happened any other way. If she just performed at a poetry event maybe last week up in Virginia, and I'm just looking, y'all. It was just so great to see her element, because a lot of times she's with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I knew if I didn't know her and saw her, I would have been too intimidated to approach her.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And I tell her all the time, like, if I saw you in the street, nah, I wouldn't have approached you, because one, I feel like I'm not even on your level.
Wow.
So she's just a type to me, man. Like, when she's just dope, man. She's just dope.
Bro, I'm tell you, there's a lot of people that gonna watch this, and and them having being had the ability to believe in love again, just based off what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because and then, like I said, man, companionship is the dopest thing on earth.
It is.
Having somebody that you enjoy being around and y'all doing things together is dope. I spoke about this before. I had to learn how to be a individual before being with someone. You need to learn how to be an individual. But being an individual is a responsibility as well. You shouldn't take that opportunity to be an individual to become selfish.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you consume yourself with just you, and when someone comes, you still consuming yourself with just you.
Right.
So I feel like people need to learn there's a difference in balance, even in that.
It is, and we definitely have to, like, whatever quirks we have, we have to work those out before we
move on to anything else,
especially to anybody else.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know what I mean? So I knew I had my stuff, but I was by myself for so long, and then I just started to work on myself. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm still trying to work on myself. But where I'm at right now, I'm the best version.
I say that a lot.
I'm the best version of myself right now.
Right.
And but she's helping me grow.
That's
even
good.
More.
How do you guys deal with conflict? In the relationship.
We just communication. We talk it out, because one, she's gonna make sure we talk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I've gotten better with that too, because I know back in my past that was one of the things, like,
you were shut down.
If I don't talk about it, it'll go away. That was one of those.
Yeah, that ain't good.
Nah, you know what I'm saying? And that's how I was in my past. So I'm not sitting here saying, like, in my two other relationships that part of it wasn't my fault. You know what I'm saying? But as we get older and we mature, you kind of understand where you at. So with any type of conflict, not to say we don't have a lot, but we talk. Whatever's on, we just talk about it.
Yeah, that's dope.
Because we around each other so much, tension can't be there.
Right.
Without it being discussed.
Right.
We just we won't allow it to happen.
I like that. Because a lot of times, man, people want like you said, they push stuff to the side, don't want to deal with it, don't want to face the facts. We got issues. And I can't stand that, man. Like, I hate that.
And then with us too, like, it ain't even nothing major. Because again, we don't bring anything right. You know what I'm saying?
Big.
So, and we're still learning each other. So it just may be a misunderstanding on a situation. You know what I mean? So but we, man, for the most, I could sit here. I could say I'm in a perfect relationship.
That's dope.
Not flawless.
And not everybody can't say that.
Yeah, but like I got my wife, I got my best friend, I got my homie, and and again, like, it's us. It's just me and her. Like, a lot of the times, just me and her. Like, when we went to Africa, there was a lot of trips that the group, it was 13 of us.
Okay.
But she and I kind of stayed back on a lot of the stuff while they went out.
And did your own thing.
We did our own thing.
Yeah.
So, but it's just dope, man.
Yeah, I like to hear that, man. That's good stuff. I mean, I'm really glad to hear that you guys are able to navigate through issues by communicating and talking and trying to figure out the best way to handle those things without actually causing them to. And so I'm assuming y'all don't let nothing linger. Y'all don't go to bed angry and all that stuff.
Nah, as soon as it comes up, you know, if
go ahead and handle it.
If there's anything that needs to be discussed, we chop it up again because we're around each other so much. I can't stay in uncomfortable situations, and that's what I was in. Somebody made a post, or I seen a meme or something, but in my other two situations, I hated going home. I knew once I get home, hell, it was just gonna be hell.
Yeah.
So I would get off work. I would go. My first situation, I lived not too far from a Food Lion. I would just go sit in Food Lion's parking lot.
Wow.
For like an hour.
Wow.
And just listen to music. Dreading to go home.
Wow.
And in my second situation, there was a store, and it just got to that point where I didn't want to be there. You know what I'm saying? Because it was so much tension, man. And so now, like, I would never let it get to that level again with this. You know what I'm saying? And,
but you know, I think too. Do you think doing this as an older person, doing it, you know, getting married again, older, you had a chance to mature a lot.
Yeah, we talked about maturity, and maturity, I don't think a lot of people really understand it. Maturing it doesn't come with your age.
No,
you could be 60 but still don't have a clue. With this is definitely like maturity, and again, like the understanding of companionship. You know what I mean? And like I said, now that I have it, I don't want to be without it.
Right. So look, when you hear, like, I know you got friends and stuff that's probably still single and trying to navigate through this this new world we living in. What do you think about how you see relationships now? You know, outside of your when you watch other people and you watching how guys navigating and how women navigating now through what do you see when you look at it?
I mean, it's all different. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can almost tell if somebody's situation is gonna work out,
right?
Just by how they move and how they talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you got a homeboy who's with somebody, but you know he's always letting other women in his face, or he's always kind of
he ain't focused,
flirting.
Yeah, he ain't focused on what he's supposed to be.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna work. And that's why I'm saying, man, it's so simple. It's just simple not to let those things happen. Like we were talking before, like when I was doing your events. Now, granted, your events is mostly females, and I'm at the door. Let me get your name. All right, next. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm there for that purpose. I'm not entertaining anything. You know what I'm saying? To even cause anything slight, but. When people are moving, you could tell. Because again, like, they're just letting other people in their space, and it's easy not to do that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, and it's crazy you brought up my events because again, those events were like, 85% females.
Yeah,
and and it's crazy. But even me, always having to, I made it a conscious effort to make sure that people saw me take my business serious.
Very professional.
Very professional, man. And I didn't want people to think that I did it because I was trying to
meet somebody.
Because that's the first thing that people think. You only did this to meet females, but that won't end low. I did this because I love what I was doing.
Right.
And I can't help it. That's all that came out. And even that, I want to speak to that a little bit. So in comedy, it's a little different than poetry. But you mentioned something about her. Actually, cultural, showing you a lot of different things. So I just want to talk about that real quick before we wrap it up. But I want to know, I know it's probably different in Raleigh and Virginia, but I know here it's terrible. Why is it so hard for guys to transition and learn new things culturally?
Time.
Wow.
It's really like the time to learn something different. You know what I'm saying? And an opportunity as well. Just different experiences. Like, where you at? If there's not a lot going on in where you at, you know what I'm saying? You just gotta take the time to find out where it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. And the reason I asked you that because I remember, when I was married, I remember my ex-wife, asking me to come to things with her, and I would never go. Even my ex, when she used to ask to go things, I would never go. And then it wasn't until later in life when I started to attend some things, I started finding so much enjoyment in art. You know, going to art museum. Music. I had an opportunity one time. I went to and it was because of school. But when I went, I enjoyed it. It was like a opera type of with the instruments, orchestra type thing. Man, that was dope. And it was just crazy because I was like, so I've been missing out on a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
and it's crazy.
It's just opening yourself up, man, to try to find something new. Like, shit, I was talking about, going to the planetarium. Wow. You know what I mean? Just something different.
I like stuff like that, man. I feel it. I like, I love going to aquariums and zoos and, just, museums, and I love that stuff. Yeah. And I, like I said, younger, I didn't even, I couldn't catch me in none of that stuff.
Yeah, because it wasn't, we had like our lane, hip hop,
sports.
And sports. So it really, like, for us, or a young kid growing up, like, those were the things that was interesting to us.
Yep. But it was all around too.
Yeah.
You didn't see nothing else.
Exactly.
It was stuff out there, but you didn't go looking for it because you didn't have access. But it's just amazing to me, and I say that because females, I give them so much credit. They've been trying to put us on this stuff for the longest.
And that's what we got to do, man. And again, if when we talk about both giving 100, you know what I'm saying? You come to the basketball game with us, but like you said, we won't go to the opera with them. Yeah. So it's got to be like that give and take. Yeah. You know what I mean? And again, like, that's what we do. Like, we support each other. Like, I love seeing her perform.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
Yeah,
that's dope. But T, man, Lord knows I hate. I'm telling you, this has been a dope conversation, man.
I appreciate it.
I want to give you an opportunity to tell people, first of all, what you got coming up next, and also to tell the viewers how they can follow you, how they can find you, and where they can.
I know that all of my social media is Terron Rodgers, TORON RODGERS. So that's Facebook, Instagram, X or Twitter. So all of my social media, you can find me there. On YouTube. Oh yeah, and 925 Productions as well. And it's NINE25. So it's the word and then the number 25 together, Productions, and that's on YouTube. And so Toron Rodgers and 925 Productions. You can catch me. I'm starting to get more. I'm gonna get a TikTok soon. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna do that.
Get that TikTok, bro.
The next thing I got coming up, man, because I'm already booked for a couple of shows at the top of the year. The way the improv works, the improv kind of hit me, in the week if they want me to come and perform for the weekend. With the movie scripts, man. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Gene Deal. He's been doing all of this talk about Diddy.
Oh, I think
he was his bodyguard.
Okay, yeah.
So I've gotten connected with Gene Deal.
Oh, that's dope.
And I've sent 3 projects through him. He sent them to Lionsgate. It was three of my scripts.
Okay.
Lionsgate didn't want them, but he went to Paramount. So Paramount is interested in 2 of my projects.
That's dope.
So they're working on a project for Mark Wahlberg right now, but I was told at the top of the year Paramount is interested in 2 of my joints.
That's good, man.
So hopefully, that'll continue to go. And
some buzz.
Yeah, and I could go ahead and get those really jumping. But I'm just out here, man. I'm trying to get us booked as much as possible with the comedy. And
tell about your book too, real quick.
Oh yeah. I published my first children's book a couple of years ago. It's called Daniel, about a little girl who grew up with her lion. You know what I'm saying? So that's out on Amazon right now. You can find that under Daniel by Toron Rodgers. Illustrator is Joseph Crippen. He's amazing, great dude. And I'm working on the next series of books as well. It's just a lot going on. I'm just trying to do a lot with this time that I have. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, man, I appreciate you coming down to be a part of this thing with me, man. But real quick, I want to let you guys know, if you can, please, on YouTube, like and follow Unique Creation Studios. Look, B-Board Entertainment TV. I need you guys to, check all this stuff out. We're going to be everywhere. We're going to be TikTok. We're going to be everything. We got a lot of other stuff coming up on this platform. A lot of great content coming to you guys. Got some new stuff coming too as well. This episode, when it hits, I'll be letting you guys know. But again, we want to make sure you guys like and subscribe. to everything. Hit that notification bell and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And look, this is 3 Sides of Every Story podcast. And if you don't know what that means my side, your side, and the truth. And we like to make sure we tell the truth. So again, guys, I love y'all. I thank y'all so much. I want to thank Toron Rodgers again for coming through, being a part of this thing, man. You know how much I feel. I'm blessed to have you, bro.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah, and so next episode, be looking for the next episode soon. And for everybody to know, it's gonna be a little diverse. Everybody's asking me all the time. Wait, you just got guys on. Trust me, I got some females coming. So we're gonna get a chance to get into some good conversation. You already know that's gonna be hot. So again, guys, I love y'all. It's your boy B the Gemini. Till the next time. Peace.